In the 2020s, the population lives off algae rations and complies with compulsory labor mandates. Legal outdoor entertainment is nearly non-existent, so some risk their safety to steal state-owned solar panels and build low-tech motorcycles which they race in secret locations. Today we're going to take a look at the hidden world of these illegal bike races and examine 5 of the most well-known tracks of the day. These 5 are collectively known as the Hiawatha Circuit. Hiawatha Highway. The races were a risky pastime from the start. The average person had no access to solar technology, and so every bike was guaranteed to have been built at least in part from stolen materials. And there was no better place to steal state solar panels than Hiawatha, the genesis point for the Hiawatha Highway. This road was famous for its scenic views of the region's most beautiful algae farms and endless glimmering fields of solar panels. At 24.2 kilometers, the Hiawatha Highway was by far the longest of all the tracks frequented in those days, reaching from the eastern border of Carbon County all the way to the Santa Quin Lake Depot just outside El Cielo. The sheer length of this course made completion a worthy accomplishment in itself, especially in the early years before the proliferation of the rock salt battery. Each race was a test of bike endurance and energy management, and any mechanic whose bike finished the race could be proud. In addition, the Hiawatha Highway had an extremely high police presence. It was common for less prepared racers to find themselves stranded on the side of the road with no juice in the tank or else in the back of a police van. For those reasons, the Hiawatha Highway saw the most instances of solo outings, with race teams at both Hiawatha and Santa Quin Lake present to verify race times. For straight-up races, however, competitors often agreed to race only a designated portion of the highway. The grid-style solar farms on either side made it easy to demarcate start and finish lines. Unfortunately, they were also great places for police to hide and wait. North Canyon. The economic revolution of the late 20s freed many people from Thayer Corporation's control over the minutiae of daily life. Historians can easily trace the root of this movement to North Canyon. Far from the watchful eye of Alpine, they say out here, on the outskirts of society stops being enforced. A huge marketplace sprawls along both sides of this 4-kilometer track, notable for its characteristic square lanterns. The Canyon Bazaar was the second largest market of its time, the only place to find items unavailable in Alpine, including copper coil and unbleached paper. It was the spot for bike parts, and so many racing teams established shops here. Racers enjoyed wide, dusty roads of packed dirt punctuated by dangerous bottlenecks. Original runners marked the finish line at this algae shop, but it was later moved down the road a bit to make the track exactly 4 kilometers. Picton Park. The 2009 West Coast seismic event destroyed hundreds of small towns, and many were never rebuilt. After G-Day, the temperature went through the roof, and the ocean swallowed up a lot of these abandoned cities. But a few lucky settlements at higher altitudes were spared, and one of them even had an amusement park. Welcome to Picton, aka Quake City. Picton is a racer's dream. The whole town is at their disposal, with a vast network of roads and zero police presence, affording planners the time to map out a near infinite variety of exciting and technically challenging routes. Many courses make use of a famous straightaway from High Street to Dogwood Avenue, where racers speed through fallen buildings under the shadow of a washed-up cargo ship. The only trouble with Picton is getting there. A massive chunk of rough desert and wilderness separates this lonely region from the rest of civilization. Many visitors use up most of their juice on the journey, only to find they need to perform repairs before they can actually race. The first to make the voyage to Picton were true legends, arduously clearing debris from the roads in a task that took years. An amazing level of care has been put into the restoration of Picton streets, making racing surfaces ideal for those who make the trek out. If only they could do something about all the coyotes. Picton Extreme. Some roads originally thought unraceable have since been cleared as well, to the delight of all thrill-seeking racers who prefer a bumpier ride. Picton Extreme offers a memorable downhill experience through the most forgotten corners of this ghost town, which many claim is haunted by more than coyotes and seagulls. Zone 5 Causeway. Alpine is the capital city of the Central American Territories, densely populated and headquarters of Thayer Corporation. The sprawling commercial center of Zone 5 is hands down the economic heart of Alpine and the surrounding regions, including all of El Cielo and Carbon County. It's also home to the Zone 5 Causeway, a 2-kilometer series of straightaways which begins and ends at the famous C-Bar. Despite its proximity to the wealthiest places on Earth, the roads of Zone 5 have been strangely forgotten or abandoned by the city administrators. They are in terrible condition, and constant patrols by Alpine City Police and Thayer's private law enforcement troops make it far and away the riskiest place to race. But the rewards are worth it. Who else but the bravest and most rebellious racers deserve the honor of pushing light at the birthplace of the sport? The track runs along the Goshen River, and though technically not part of the causeway, racers who have drunk too much or simply have nothing left to lose will occasionally race the bridge. Even in the late hours of the night, racers who dare to drag the bridge will inevitably be arrested and have their bikes confiscated and destroyed. Thanks for listening. Those were the top 5 tracks of the Hiawatha circuit in the 2020s. As a bonus, let's take a look at some of the bikes that might be seen racing on these tracks.
Shit.